Hello everybody, I hope everyone's okay. Today we're going to do a very short review. It's as a result of a request from subscriber Paul Gray. And thank you, Paul, for your request, which is to look at bike lights. And I'd also like to say I do like to receive requests because then I know what sort of content you want to see. Now, I can't really do a review of bike lights because I don't have other lights to review. So what I can do is just go through the process I've gone through and the research I've done to show you how I've come up with my decision. Now, for those experienced cyclists watching this, please bear with me for a moment because I'm aware there are some of our subscribers that are not that experienced. So I just want to go back to basics for a moment and mention that there are two broad types of light. They are the B scene and C. Now the C type are simply lights, as it suggests, that allow you to see. The B scene are lights that allow you to be seen. I'm not planning to do any in-depth discussion about B scene lights because there are so many on the market, so many different types. Just to say that my criteria is to have something that is rechargeable and has a decent duration on one charge. Now I'm using this, which is the Comet X Pro. I think it cost me about £20, and you'll see here that it's got a pretty good flash, or you can have it on a constant light as well. It's worth noting that the battery duration is much longer on a flashing setting. I also think flashing is better because I think drivers are more alerted to something flashing than something constant. I will use those B scene lights even during the daytime. The reason for this is that I could be riding in bright sunshine but then suddenly go into a forested road or under a bridge. Suddenly it's darker under there and any cars behind you may have trouble seeing you. So it's very worthwhile keeping those on during the day. I've exactly the same type of light on the back and I usually keep that in flashing mode. My main need for this winter was for front light, so a C light so I can ride at night. I do like riding at night, I think it gives you a different perspective, but of course there are hidden dangers. You've got potholes, you've got animals running out, you've got all sorts, so you need a decent light. I did have pretty much a searchlight on the front. It was a pretty cheap Chinese thing and it was really good, but the battery didn't last that long. So I needed to look at the market, which I did, looked in depth. I could see some horrendous prices. So I wanted to spend around the £50 mark. My main criteria for a light was it needed to be bright enough for me to see. I needed to be able to dip the light without having to scroll through a flashing sequence as well. I also needed good battery life. I'm planning on doing some Audax riding next year and that's probably going to involve some night riding. So I needed something that had got a decent battery life. Now typically these things had got an hour and a half on the brightest setting, which isn't enough. One of the other features on offer with some lights is that you can use the battery as a power bank to charge your phone or your Garmin or whatever. That sounds a really good idea until you start to think about it. My point would be, if you're only getting an hour and a half from a charge, why would you want to charge something else with it? Because you need it for the light. If I'm going out and I don't need the light, I wouldn't take the light. And if you want to charge something, so if I was on an all-day ride and I knew my Garmin would be conking out, I'd just take a small power bank with me. So that feature didn't really do it for me, although it sounded good. The other feature that was very important for me is that I didn't want a fixed mount. The reason for that is simple. With a fixed mount and you have an oncoming vehicle, you can dip the light, which is absolutely fine. until you realise that with the headlights coming towards you and a dipped light, you're not really going to be able to see the curb very well. And with our roads, certainly in the UK, full of potholes, it's something I need to do. So my requirement is for a light that's on a mount that I can actually physically push downwards so I don't dazzle an oncoming car. Now that means that I can leave the light on full beam, point it down. I'm not dazzling the car, but I can certainly see the surface ahead of me. So looking at the market, looking at everything available for a reasonable price, and I considered a reasonable price to be around the £50 mark. That really always came down to one make, and that was the Chilli-Tech 960 Lumen Cree light. I have experience of Chilli-Tech because I have their safety camera, which has performed extremely well for me. So I was happy with Chilli-Tech and decided I'd push the button and go for their light.
The first thing that struck me about the light was the small size and its strong aluminium body. It comes complete with the handlebar mount, and you can see there's a good rubber insert there to stop it sliding around on the handlebar, and the securing strap is an extra thick one, so it's unlikely to fail. Even if it did, you're secured with the cable. It just snaps into the battery. You've got a nice screw connector there, so it's not going to come dislodged while you're riding. And you can see here on the lamp, on the left hand side we have our B scene function, and the right hand side is for our C functions. So one press of the B scene function gives us a steady halo light so we can be seen from the side, and another press gives us the flashing mode. On the right, first press is full 960 lumens, then 450, then 100, and then off. For charging, it's a USB charger. It simply plugs in. There's no need for a screw fixing on this one. I must admit, on the USB I did get caught out. This lettering is so small that I missed it until I put my glasses on. But that's simply showing us that when we're charging, we're going to have a red lamp, and when it's completed charging, we have a green. The battery pack simply straps on with Velcro straps, and you can see here that the lead is plenty long enough, so you can fit right back to the seat post if you require. This is how the B scene flashing light looks in daylight. Now I did try to get some video of operating at night, but my video camera's not up to it, so I've had to give you some still shots. So this is the 960 lumen light. This one is the 450. And this is the 100. So you can see even with 100 it's workable, but I think you'll agree the 960 lumens is plenty bright enough.
One thing that's important to consider when buying from Chilli-Tech is that if you go to their website and buy direct from the website, you'll pay a lot more than if you go through their Facebook site. On Facebook they do various offers. Mine came in on offer. I bought the model with the large battery. That just cost me an extra £10, and with post and packing I paid just over £52, which I'm pretty happy with. I've seen comments where people get a little bit uptight with Chilli-Tech, so it's worth again noting here that they're a small company. Paul there is an enthusiast and he provides products that work for him. What you'll find is that they will ship in batches, so you'll see if you go on the Facebook page you will actually see a shipping date. Now I looked this morning, it's the 17th of November today, and I think they're looking at the 30th November for shipping. My order actually came earlier than the shipping date, so I think it only took about 3 or 4 days. Also, if you are expecting some glossy instructions in the pack, you'll be disappointed because there are no instructions with it. But what you do is go on to YouTube, and Paul has some very good videos on there that will explain exactly how the thing works.
Thanks very much for watching to the end, and I hope you found that of use. I have been taking on board the suggestions you've been making, and I'll be incorporating those suggestions into some future videos that hopefully will come up in the next few weeks. So if you want to see those, please subscribe, hit the bell button, and please like this video if you did like it, because it all helps me to grow this channel. So until then, ride safe.